All right. What's up, and welcome to my live benchmarking of the MSI GP66. We're going to get things set up here and let everyone get on the stream, and then we'll go live. So right now we're private for just a moment until I just make sure sound is good. We're going to go ahead and set this to public, and here we go. Boom. Okay, we are set to public. Very cool. So while everyone's hopping in the stream, let me just talk about my expectations for this laptop. So this MSI GP66, I got it right here. I got the secondary camera set up here, so you can check that out here in a moment. Let's see here. There it is. And now you can see all the games we'll be testing down below as well. So my expectations for this laptop is that it'll put up some really good numbers for an RTX 3070. We have a mux switch on here. We have the 11th gen Intel processor, 8 cores, and it's technically overclockable from what people in my chat have said. Now, we're going to make sure that we're on the latest BIOS. I mean, MSI software has not updated me at all, and I did doing updates earlier today. But I just want to make sure that we're on the latest update. So let's go ahead and just head on over to MSI GP66. Might as well just do this right away at the beginning. And anytime you're wanting to make sure your laptop's optimally performing, you'll want to do this as well. So you can select your model. I think, let's see which model this is. UG. So this is the UG SKU. Boom. And so you can go in here and you can just see what BIOS you have and make sure that it is the most up-to-date. And you can also check what BIOS you have in your settings here. Usually, right here. So 1543, 1542. Interesting. So I actually have a newer one than what they have on the site here. No, it says it came out on 420. So I don't know. The numbering might be a little bit funky, but we're going to go and download the latest BIOS and get that installed here while everyone's getting into the stream. And I need to grab my flash drive. Hello, hello. I see people hopping onto the stream. What's up, UK Skid? SKD? I don't know how you I don't know how you like to have your name pronounced there. But welcome, welcome. So we're just getting the BIOS updated. And that's the old BIOS from the last one I did. There's the new BIOS right there. I'll go ahead and shut down the computer. What's up, K1? Let's go. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is going to be really good. If you're excited about this benchmarking session, be sure to slam that like button. So we've got a, my name is initials, LOL. Okay, good. So we've got the list of the games that we're going to be doing and synthetic tests in the benchmarking down below at the bottom of the screen. And if you're curious about a very specific title or game, and there's not timestamps on the video yet, you can use whenever I fill out the numbers, because every time we do a benchmark, I'll try to fill out those numbers. So. I believe I just need to press F2. It did not, I don't think it loaded me into the BIOS. Let's see. Product says I'm looking for a laptop around 1300 to 1400. Any recommendations? So my recommendation in that price range is probably the Omen 15Z. It's probably going to give you the best bang for the buck just on pure specs to performance, but it's not the highest TDP. I'd head over to my sheet. I'd recommend heading over to my sheet if you can. I've got this handy dandy sheet linked in the description down below. $1,300 to $1,400 though. You're probably looking at you want to get you either go for portability in this price point or you go for maximum performance. So you've got the Legion 5 Pro in this price range. You got the Gigabyte G5 in this price range, and what else you got in here? So the Dell G5, I believe, is right around that price. And if you go a little bit more expensive, you can get something like the Strix G15 or G17, and I think that would be worth it if it was me, if it was my money. Spending a little bit more to get something quite a bit better. That's it. I think the Elma 15Z is certainly a pretty good product, a very good product for the price. Okay, so here we are at the BIOS. Now let's see if we can get this thing updated. Was it under advanced? There it is. UEFI BIOS update, and then made the USB, and then here's the latest BIOS file that I downloaded. Confirm update, yes. Open BIOS image to update failed. Wrong image format 11. What? What? I just downloaded it. Lame. Okay, well, we gotta go double check the file here. Oh, that loaded into Windows very fast. What's up, guys? I see a whole bunch of people hopping into the stream. Welcome to the live stream. We're just updating the BIOS to the latest right now. And the initial attempt failed, so I'm going to double check their BIOS update instructions, but it should be So press the delete key to get that open. Select the advanced UEFI BIOS update. Press enter. Update the BIOS. I select the file. All of this is exactly what I did. Well, if this doesn't work, then there's nothing I can do. I'm going to try copying this over one more time. Description. Guys, what's a good option for something between 1,500 to 2,000? I think you're looking at it. I think this GP66 may be the #1 pick, or at least if you want pure gaming performance, I think the GP66 may be your close to your best bet around that price point. But there's also the Scar 15 RTX 3080, which is just an insane deal for 2,000, and that's gone on sale a couple times in the last couple of weeks. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna try this one more time. We're going to replace the file that we had on the flash drive. All right. Thoughts about the Lenovo Legion 7 RTX 3080 with max power up to 165 watts? I think if it can actually maintain its wattage and performance, I think it seems like a really, really good deal. And I really liked the Legion 7 so far from my usage of it. Why is the Legion 5 taking forever to drop in the Philippines? Man, it's taking forever to drop everywhere except a couple of select markets, you know? When will the Lenovo laptop benchmark come? Soon. I really want to do that one soon too. I just got so many things to do. So many different laptops. Okay, well, it's not letting me update it. I don't know. It's nothing I can do about it. So let me see if there's anything in here. See what all we got going on here. I'm guessing there's got to be some. Do you guys know what the hidden combination is? The GP66 is horribly balanced, though. Really, the Aorus 15P is much better and has the 11800H 3070, not bad battery, not terrible ports, same wattage but thinner and lighter. I will admit that the ports on this are a bit weak without a USB-C. That's definitely a pretty big weakness to this laptop, without a doubt. Um, but in what way do you think it's more balanced on the Aorus 15P? Because this thing definitely is pushed to really high wattage to the GPU, up to 135 watts on this machine. So I feel like I feel like that's just incredible, you know? Nice. I have this laptop and love it. Smug Zug. Your name goes really well with that comment. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these benchmarks started up. I've downloaded all of the new um, I've downloaded all of the new stuffs, all the updates, and I believe I downloaded all of the applications. I don't think I missed any, but I mean, you never know, right? We might be waiting on something. Okay, so we've got our basic. I don't think we're going to be able to get drivers to update either, which really kind of sucks actually, since we're doing these more detailed benchmarks. But let's see if we can get drivers to update with GeForce Experience. It says we have the latest GeForce Game Ready driver. Um, I wonder if we could download an updated Nvidia driver through MSI. Hey man, just want to stop by and tell you to have a good day. Thanks, Mr. Shadow. Can you do CSGO first? It wouldn't take long compared to other games. Um, very much potentially. Okay, is this that's the 10th gen? We need the 11th gen. Support. Let's see what the latest drivers they have on here for our NVIDIA graphics. Yeah, these are the latest ones, 46221. So this is the latest drivers we can run on this thing, as far as I can tell. Nothing else will install. So we're rocking the latest drivers, basically. All right. So we're going to exit out all these extra applications and we're going to do our Steam benchmarks first. We need HW info open as well. Now we're going to do our tests with, we're going to enable Cooler Boost and we're going to be on Turbo. I want to do extreme performance with Cooler Boosts on, basically. That's kind of what our, I believe this is the highest performance setting we can possibly set it to. Extreme performance with Cooler Boost. So we're going to have fans going at maximum. And there you go. Now we're going to run it on the default best settings, which is what we got going right now. We are in Mux enabled mode. So discrete graphics mode right here. If you wanted to be on hybrid mode, you'd switch to that one. All right. Very dramatic. I love your content and the spreadsheet. You help me not feel like an idiot with all the information. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you find it helpful. Thanks for the comment. The lowest spec for this is the i7-11800H. Is the RTX 3060 or 3070? I have only been able to see the 3070 for sale, but they may have a 3060 in the pipeline or available on other sites or markets or something. Okay, so we're going to start off with Global Offensive by the request of one of the viewers. Hey, are you going to review the Asus Zephyrus M16? I'd really like to. We'll see if I can get my hands on one. I don't do Doom Eternal. Pandu. All right. So I believe these are already set up from last time we ran this. Looks all correct. Here we go. i7-11900H or Ryzen 9 5900 for long lasting and performance. I think both those processors are going to be great. So it depends. I think if you want pure gaming performance, I mean they're both going to be really good, but I think the 11900H will probably give you just slightly more performance. All right, so let's see what we get. Dun dun dun. So CSGO. FYI, 11th gen has crazy performance boost in CSGO versus 10th gen. It's insane outlier, unlike any other game. Hardware Unbox showed this. I did see that we had a big boost in FPS the last time I checked it. Like right now, we're at 800 FPS, which is just insane. I also saw that on Jared's tech video, which he posted, comparing the 10th gen versus 11th gen processors, which you should check that out at some point. But it's a CSGO was one of the only games that showed a big boost in gaming performance, which was a bit surprising. So I'm very curious to see, are we going to see a big boost in gaming performance, especially in CPU-bound games? Like Shadow of the Tomb Raider had crazy level of performance. I think it was like, didn't we do like one, like 135 or something like that, which was more than any other laptop I've ever tested at my settings, by like 15. So it was like a huge boost, and that's a very CPU-bound game. Is 8 GB graphics memory enough for next gen gaming? I think at 1080p, pretty much 8 gig will be pretty good. But if you want to do lots of VR gaming, I do recommend getting a 16 gig VRAM if possible, because VR is a lot higher resolution. QHD gaming, um, certain games are definitely going to benefit more from having the 16 gigs of VRAM. So, but instead, even then, most of the games you'll be just fine. And the couple that you're not okay, you might just have to turn down your textures or some of the settings, taking up the VRAM. Okay, so we got 463.7. 463.7. Let's go ahead and put that in to the chat. $464, basically. Very, very impressive. Okay. On to the next game. We're going to zoom. 3D Mark. Actually, 3D Mark's next. Very nice. So, comparing that, let me see if I can. I think this is my latest benchmark graphs. Do I have a CSGO page? Yes. So that is my #1 result so far for any CSGO benchmark that I've done. The previous best was on my Scar 15 bypassing Optimus at 448. So very, very crazy performance. 464. Okay, and this is the MSI GP66 Leopard 1899. 3070, 135 watt mux. Oh, I'm gonna put the processor. Right, okay, the processor, i7-11800H. Okay. So if I show you guys this graph, you'll be able to see this real quick. I believe I need to go to this one. Yeah, okay. So here is here's the results. You can see the GP Leopard is my #1 result for CSGO so far, by about 15 or 20 or so FPS. I guess that's even when it bypasses Optimus to an external display. But it's basically like a mux simulating what a mux switch would be like. Okay, so next up is Time Spy, which we'll head on over, and I'll add it to the graph here as well as we go along here. I'm gonna try to do the graphs. I'm gonna try to do the graphs as we go here, so you guys will be able to compare and see the performance of the laptop versus others this time, which I didn't do last time. So I think people will like that a lot. And then the graphs will all be done all at once. Okay. This laptop is already being sold out on Newegg and resold for $23.44. Yeah, we'll see. I don't hope people don't scalp it, but yeah, this laptop I think is gonna be a big seller. hmm Is the Strix 15 with a Ryzen 9 5900HX and RTX 3060 with 1080p screen worth 13.99 euros? Probably. I'm not sure what your pricing's like over in Europe, so on average, what brand of laptops is better, Asus or MSI? I put them in the same category of quality, very high quality. But it will vary from laptop to laptop. I think like the budget models on both sides um, are not going to be as good as their more premium models. Like the MSI Pulse or the Asus TUF A15. Um, the build quality and everything that you can get is just not going to be as good on certain ones. Okay, notice that we're pulling 136 watts pretty often. There was like several seconds in a row we pulled 106. Now it's 133, of course, but we're hitting close to that 135 cap, which is just phenomenal. How is the Alienware R7 3060? You'll have to explain something else because that's not a thing. You have to get the model of the laptop correct. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Can you suggest me a laptop for college and gaming in a budget 1700 to 1900? Um, well, I think this is a good model. For college, I mean, maybe you're trying to take it around with you all the time, so maybe you want to prioritize portability a little bit more. I think the Zephyrus G15 is really, really good in that category because it's so portable and still has good performance all around and great battery life and a great display. Oris 15P or GP66. The very similar internals between those two, but I think the GP66 will have a little higher TDP on the GPU, um, where the Oris 15P has a little bit of ports. So kind of got trade-offs there. I've already done CSGO. Yes, Toby, I already did CSGO. You weren't even here. You weren't here for it. You're the one who requested it, right? I wasn't. Was it you that requested it? Yeah, we already did CSGO. We're on the Time Spy now. Is the Zephyrus G15 3070 model a good deal for 1970, including the taxes? Including the taxes, that seems about average-ish, depending on how high your taxes are. I believe it's retailing for 1850. It went up $50 since it was initially released. I think the SCAR 3080 is a lie because the 3080 has the same TDP and the same 8 gig VRAM, so I didn't think it would be that much of an upgrade from the 3070. Um, I believe that's incorrect because even though it has the same VRAM, VRAM is really not that important for most games. What matters a lot more is your CUDA core count, tensor cores, RT cores, and your TDP. And obviously the speed of the memory as well. Um, and it's got all those things, even though it may only have 8 gigs of VRAM versus 16. There you go. So 10,789. We run this thing twice. I didn't really leave that up for very long. Let's go back to that just so people can look at that for a moment. And let me go ahead and put this in as well to our benchmarks. Benchmark. We got Time Spy in this one. All right, Time Spy. So we got 10,789. Our CPU score, we got 9863. All right. I feel like the CPU score was higher last time we ran it, but maybe I'm wrong. Mm. Max fans turned off for some reason. Let me make sure we're on the same mode. We should be. I never changed this. Yeah, we're on extreme performance. I don't know. Mixed fans was turned off for some reason. Anyway, last time your CPU tested higher on the unboxing. Yeah, I know, Smug. I don't know why. Yes, the 15P has a mux. Okay, cool. Would you say it's worth the $200 from the Strix G17 to go to the Scar 3080? Um, there's not a huge difference in performance, right? There is like a 7 to 15% ish gap there. So it's the Strix G17 versus Scar 3080. Um, you get a bit more for only a little bit more money though. So I think the price difference is worth it, personally. Um, but it's not like if you got the Strix G17 with a 3070, it'd be like a bad deal by comparison because it's still very close in performance. I think that comes down more so to what form factor you want. Do you want a 17-inch or a 15-inch? I really wish this laptop had a Thunderbolt 4 connection. Yeah. All right, so we're on cooler booster mode this time. We'll see if that makes a difference. Interestingly enough, Afterburner is not loaded in right now. I don't know why. When do you think about What do you think about when an AMD will release their laptop GPUs? I don't know. People were predicting June at the beginning of this year, but we don't know for sure. I haven't followed any of the latest rumors, so maybe that's still accurate. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Is electronics a safe? Yeah, I think they're a safe vendor to buy from. Um, but I think they're also. It feels like at times they're understaffed. Like heard people I've heard good things and bad things about their support. It kind of depends on who you get. Um, but they are a legit retailer. So lots of people have gotten their stuff like on their laptops from them and been happy. And other people have been, I don't know. But yeah, they are a legit one. So it's definitely I wouldn't classify them as great service from the things I've heard, but I've heard they can be really good though. So just it'll vary from experience to experience, like almost every retailer, right? Sometimes you have terrible experiences for some reason from some place. I can buy the Scar G17. That's not a laptop. This I think you mean is it because there's a Strix G17 and then the Scar 17 with no G, so I'm not sure which one you're talking about. But for $80 more than the GP76 with a 3070, which one do you recommend for AAA games? Definitely I'd go Scar 17 3080 probably. Yeah, that's what I would go for between those two. But if you're gonna do games that benefit from a mux switch and you're not gonna use an external monitor, then maybe the GP76 would be worth it. Because of the performance boost from the mux. Could you try overclocking the CPU, GPU, and RAM for this laptop? Um, not in this not in this live stream. I want to try undervolting this. So we got over 10,000 that time, but I'm pretty sure we got even more than that during the live unboxing, like quite a bit more than that. I don't know why we're having reduced CPU performance, but 10,800 is impressive. Do. Let's just see if yeah, I mean nothing's taking up any resources in the background, so um, this is definitely a good all-around score, especially for a 3070. Um, I think it's possible to go a little bit higher than this. Get over 11,000 with a 3070, but that's with like a small overclock. Like if we applied a small overclock to this, we could probably bust 11,000. Um, okay, so that was technically the first official run, and we're gonna need to put that in here. 10,845. All right, because the first run didn't count because we didn't have max fans running. 845, and the CPU score was 10,001. All right, very cool. What's the difference between a Ryzen 7 5800H and the 5900HS? The 5900HS is a 35-watt part, and the Ryzen 7 5800H is a 45-watt part. But really, none of that really matters. Um, Ultimately, from the benchmarking I've done, the 5900HS technically can score higher in things like Cinebench, but it seems like it varies a lot from manufacturer to manufacturer. Like with the Zephyrus G14, we scored over 5,000. It was like 5,200 in Cinebench R20. But with a lot of the 5800Hs, we're only seeing about 4,600. So, but it varies because some of the 5800H processors, like in the Legion 7, that got like 4,900 something. So they're very, very close, and it ultimately comes down to how each manufacturer configures it. Okay, I don't know why Afterburner is not running, not coming up with. I want to make sure. Okay, so it's open in the background. I just don't know why it's not showing up in the overlay. I mean, there's nothing I can really do if it's not showing up in the overlay, but it should be. That's the weird part. All the settings are set up to show up. Which one has overall better performance? This device or the M15R5. This one definitely has had better performance in the games I initially tested. But we need to do some more. I need to do a full set of testing to be able to get better comparisons because I think in some games the M15R5 might outperform this one. We'll see. Toby, I already tested CSGO. Did I see Jared's comparison? Yes, I did. Raghav. I was talking about it earlier. It seemed pretty interesting because there was very minor differences, at least for the i9 processor in a lot of the games, except for CS:GO. Britt Allen, how are you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm trying to figure out why the overlay's not coming up. It was coming up the first time we ran Time Spy and I didn't change anything, and then the next two times it didn't come up. So it's pretty weird. The RTX 2060 115 watt or the RTX 3060 80 watt, which one would you prefer? Hmm. I think the performance of those two will be pretty similar, but I think the 3060 would be a bit better and a bit more future proof, probably. But between those two, I think it would come down to what is everything else in the laptop and what's the price point. Like, does one have a better screen or keyboard or battery life? Then that might sway my decision more than just the GPU specs alone, because the GPU specs there are going to be pretty similar, pretty close. If you had to choose one, Lenovo Legion 7 3060 or Lenovo Legion 5 Pro 3070, which one would you get? I'd have to know all the other specs too. but probably the 3070 because there's a noticeable boost from a 3060 to 3070. Have you tested any of the laptops with the i5 11th gen variants? No, I have not yet, Jim. What 15-inch MSI premium laptop do you recommend for gaming and programming under 2000? Um, I mean, probably this one, Chekhov, probably. I think it's going to vary though, depending on what you need. Like if you want something thinner, then going for the GS66 might be an option if you really want to stick to MSI. Because the GS66 is a bit thinner, but it's going to be quite a bit lower TDP, so you're going to sacrifice a good chunk of performance. Hey, the overlay was coming up there. Nice. I am a CSE engineering student. Should I get the Asus Zephyrus G15 or the M16? Um, that is a tough call. I believe the Zephyrus G15. I guess you might want to just look around and see if your specific software, your engineering software, it is going to benefit more from Intel or Ryzen, because certain applications are more optimized for one or the other. Okay, so we got 10,816. Let's average that with our previous result. So 45 plus 16 divided by 2. 5 plus 16. Okay, 45 plus 16 equals divided by 2. Okay, so 31. All right. Okay, and then for our CPU score, 10,001 plus 9833 equals, okay, divided by 2, 9917 for our CPU score. And I'm not sure why we had a higher CPU score on the last one, but that's what we got on this one. All right, let's go ahead and plot this on our graph here. Make sure that this is working. Yep, okay. So on our time spy graph, I should probably, next time I'll try to adjust the background so it's not just green. Because I used it as like kind of a green screens for the actual videos on it when I make the videos. So, all right. So this puts us at spot number 2. And what do we get? 10,831. And I need to grab the copy. Let's see, I'll just make a new one. GP66 Leopard 1899 RTX 3070 135 watt. Cool. And I'm going to put this into here as well, so easy copy paste. Very nice. I'm going to save a new copy of these benchmarks graphs so I can MSI GP66 Leopard benchmarks. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So let's move on to our next benchmark. Cyberpunk 2077. Hoorah. So overall, that's a really solid score for Time Spy, and if we overclocked it some, I'm pretty sure we'd get a nice boost, get it over 11,000 pretty easily. Ho ho ho! I'm back. Welcome back, Millen. I think they're both similar in gaming. I've got my eye on this laptop, looking to replace my old desktop GTX 1080. Thank you for doing these. No problem, Sir Wedgie. I hope you find your dream laptop, and you're able to give as many wedgies as you need to in your games that you play. Okay. Allow access. Okay, cool. Does the 11800H beat the 5900HX on Fortnite? Quite possibly, Rise. We're gonna test it. That's on the list of tests that we're gonna be doing here. That's coming up. I predict it's going to do really well in Fortnite, though. Okay, so RT on Ultra. We set it to quality. Video. We're gonna go to full screen, 1080p. Boom. We are ready to go. Let's just double check this, make sure we're good here. So I usually go to Ultra, RTX on Ultra, quality. Yeah, cool. All right, here we go. Gizmo, can you say jack off again? My God, don't make fun of his name. What's the TDP on the 3070? I believe it's 125 to 135. But we need to do some testing. We'll see. So 125 to 135 is good. It's really good. Good base TDP. Yeah, so we're only going down to like 124 approximately right here. Let me make this screen a little easier to see, turning off the light behind me. Okay. Very nice. Sorry, here we go. Are you ready? Boom. 62 FPS so far. Very good. Do you have any RAM comparison video? Yes, I did do a RAM comparison video. And I saw some pretty big improvements in performance replacing the RAM in the Strix G17 from the stock RAM. It was like a 14% boost in performance in memory sensitive games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Okay, so look at that CPU temp spiking to 90C right now. You can tell that MSI definitely prioritized GPU thermals over CPU thermals on this. Not that it's necessarily going to hurt the CPU. I'm not worried about the CPU being damaged. It's more just I'm worried about potentially thermal throttling on the CPU. Because if you hit the thermal cap, it can cause stutters. Though we didn't see any stuttering. We're at 48 FPS on our 1% lows. Okay, so I'm just gonna let it play while I put this in. So Cyberpunk 2077, and we are doing full HD. There we go. And what do we get? 60 and 60 to 48. Very cool. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run this again with RTX and DLSS. So RTX and DLSS off. This is one of the games I'm going to compare some other laptops with eventually, or I want to have the data to be able to compare. So just look at my recent videos, SKD. You can go through my recent videos, and it should be about 15 to 20 videos ago. A couple months ago, I did it. All right, and here we go. So RTX off and DLSS disabled. So the good news here is that we're hitting great wattage on our GPU. For example, in the Strix G17, you only get 115 watts right here, you know. But the downside is the CPU temperature, and this is not ideal, and we are on maximum fans, but with extreme performance mode on. So good clock speed overall on the CPU, 4.2, but only 44 watts of power being pulled, and it's still hitting this kind of temperature. So that's definitely a sign they didn't put enough heat pipes to the CPU. Okay, here we go. We got 4639 for our test. 4639. Okay, not bad, not amazing. Let's go ahead and see how that stacks up in our graph. So it's graphing time here. I'm gonna go and put it in. You guys can kind of watch the values while I get the graph filled out. All right, and very nice performance in Cinebench, or in Cyberpunk. All right, so we go put it here. All right, well, we get 4860, right? Okay. All right. So cool. So you can see that the GP66 Leopard with Cyberpunk, we're pushing very high FPS, beating out the Strix G17 by about 4 FPS, and our 1% low is also nicely up 7 FPS in the same test. Though, this is a little bit of improvement in drivers could be a factor here as well. Cool. So we're on to the next test, Far Cry 5. What do you guys think so far? Is the GP66 Leopard stacking up to your expectations? Um, is it liquid metal? No, I don't believe so. Why do you always have? Why do you all always now test Cyberpunk? It's a crap game. Because it has RTX and DLSS, and RTX and DLSS are the way of the future for gaming. That's going to be used in a lot of games going forward. So performance in Cyberpunk will be very indicative of potential future gaming performance, I think. Or at least it's one of the games that has potential to represent that fairly well. Looks like everyone underestimated CPU temps this generation. Well, I mean, to me, it's CPU temps will always be a factor of will always be dependent on however the manufacturer wants to tune it. If the manufacturer is like, oh, we're going to tune this to run cool, well, you're going to sacrifice some performance. Or they're going to tune it to run really high wattage, but they basically they prioritize the heat pipes more to the GPU instead of the CPU, which is, I believe, what we got going on here. Because if you prioritize your heat pipes primarily to the GPU and not the CPU, it allows you to put a higher TDP on that GPU, which gives you generally a little bit better gaming performance on average, I think. So if your focus is on gaming performance, I think this GP66 is still a great buy based on what we're seeing here. It's just an unfortunate side effect that we're going to be running high temperatures, and you might end up having some stuttering if you run into a lot of thermal throttling. So everything on ultra, HD textures off, anti-aliasing off. Anti-aliasing on, motion blur off. Okay, and we want to make sure this is on 1.0 resolution scale. Very good. All right, test and benchmark. Gizmo, can we get a link for the charts? So I don't have a link to any of the charts. That's just a PowerPoint on my laptop that I'm making. Okay, wow, 130, 140 right now. This is some really great. That's really high frame rate through that section. Um, wow. Okay. This might set a new record for our Far Cry 5 test. Did you see the wattage there? We pulled up to 60 watts on the CPU for a little while there. Um, interesting. Very interesting. A very high average right now, 125, and it's going to go up from here usually. Like this is the low point, and then at the end it spikes by 3 or 4 usually. So like right here, we spiking up. Look at that, 156, 159, 160. So 128 average. Let's see how that stacks up in the graph. Wemba, impressive. Far Cry 5. Yes, that's my new #1 Far Cry 5 score. Interesting. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not sure if we didn't. I have not added the GE76 tests that I did. So we could have even better performance from the GE76 in some of these games that are not out on this graph yet. So um, just keep that in mind. Okay, so we got 128. Very, very good. Okay, let me show you the graph now. Um, okay, so you can see the GP66 Leopard at the top, beating out all of these laptops, even the i9-10980HK, the i9-99K 900K, the Razer Blade Pro with the i7-10875H, 128 FPS. Very impressive. And this is a very CPU-bound test. It's pretty optimized for Intel too. So know that some of the Ryzen laptops are going to be kind of underperforming by comparison um, for that reason. So, but very excellent performance here. Too cool. Love seeing new performance metrics. Like pushing the envelope of what laptops can do. Right? It's very cool to see. All right. Very interesting test. What about Microsoft Flight Simulator? This is going to be a this is such a CPU bound game, and typically most of the tests I've ran on this can only pull about 28 to 32 FPS at 1080p. Does your SCAR 17 3080 benchmarks on chart are done on external display? Um, if it says Optimus bypassed in the chart, that means it was done on an external display. What laptop do I recommend with an i7-11800H and an RTX 3060? I don't know. Let's see here. Does the Aorus 15P come with that? I think maybe the Aorus 15P will come with that combination. Let's take a look at the chart here. So Aorus 15P. Okay. So yeah, right here the Aorus 15P comes with the 11800H with RTX 3060, and the word on the street is this has a MUX, though I have not verified that. So I believe this is going to be probably your best bet for that. Okay, so we're just loading into the flight simulator still. The game takes a long time to load. I came to say a rip Ryzen. Oh my god. For gaming performance, I it was close with the 10th gen and the Ryzen 5000 in a lot of the titles. And I think the Ryzen may still eke out a few wins here. Maybe in Red Dead Redemption, for example, I think the Ryzen may still win. But I think in a lot of these games, this 11th generation from Intel is going to win out. All right, world map. Oh wait, no, not world map. We got to check our settings first. Okay, super CPU bound game. Let's see if the Microsoft Flight Simulator can do well or not. Render scale 100%. We do not want VSync on. And our render quality, we want ultra. Apply and save. Okay. Go back to our world map. Our airport is PDX. Flight conditions We set this time to, I believe, is it, I thought it was noon, I believe. And then we want clear skies for our flight conditions. Clear skies, noon, cool. Okay. And fly. I'm not running PUBG in today's tests. I don't have it installed. The problem with PUBG is there's not a good way to test it anymore. So it's hard to compare. It's kind of like Fortnite. It's very difficult to compare. What's your opinion on the Asus ROG Strix G15 2021 3060 Ryzen 9 5900HX and 144Hz display? Um, I think it's a very, very good option. I'm mainly only concerned, my only concern with that is going to be the display. You're going to want to make sure that it's a good quality display because that there's not ghosting and it's not too low of an sRGB. That would be, I think, the only major weakness potentially for that laptop. Intello, you want to see Fortnite using performance mode instead of DX12. Last time, last time I tested Fortnite, I tested all three modes: DirectX 11, Performance, and DX12. It did take a lot of extra time, because you have to restart the game and it takes forever to load in every time you restart it. What game am I playing? This is Microsoft Flight Simulator, a very CPU-bound game, so it'll be very interesting to see what kind of FPS we get with the 11th gen CPUs on this, because the 10th gen Intel and the Ryzen 5000 only get about 30 FPS, and it looks like we're gonna get about the same FPS again, but let's find out. This is such a poorly optimized game. It's crazy. Look at this. Still only getting 24, 22, and notice how CPU bound it. You can tell it's super CPU bound because the GPU is only at 60% utilization. And it's CPU bound. See, the CPU says it's only 22% utilized. That's because it only uses like one thread. It's so poorly optimized. So this is a test that's basically all about your your uh your your single threaded optimization. So not F9. What is it? 9? Throttle up. What is the Okay, what is the throttle up button again? This game. Okay, let's hear. Instruments, systems. Let's hear. Search for input. No. Search by name. Throttle. Increase throttle. F3. Okay. The controls in this are ridiculous. Okay, so it's F3. There we go. We're at maximum throttle. All right, now we press P to release the parking brake and 9. Okay, now we are benchmarking. All right. So, right here's our average FPS. It looks like we're not gonna get hardly any increased FPS. As a matter of fact, it may get lower than the Ryzen laptops, but not by much, only by 1 or 2 FPS if so. Because right now it's getting 27 FPS on average. To be fair, desktop CPUs struggle to run this game. What chance does a laptop have? Yeah, I mean, especially on ultra settings, you definitely have to turn some stuff down so the CPU doesn't choke. Okay, so we wait for the start dipping, and right there. Okay, so 2819 for our 2819. Boom, boom, boom. And Microsoft Flight Simulator right here. 2819. Okay, and I don't have a comparison graph for this one because it's not really a very interesting thing to compare because it's basically all been like 30 FPS approximately for every laptop I've tested almost. So maybe 25 to 30. 25 to 32. The very best ones are getting like 32 with the ASUS. The new Ryzen 5000 laptops do about 32 FPS in this game. So turns out the best laptop for Microsoft Flight Simulator is a Ryzen 5000 series still. So all the people saying "Rip Ryzen" in chat just took a blow. Boom. Okay. All right. On to Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's see what we got. Oris 15P i7-11800H and RTX 3060 versus the Zephyrus G15 R9 5900HS and RTX 3070. Well, the Zephyrus G15 is a much more expensive laptop, Chekhov. So you gotta factor in the extra cost. It's like a $300 difference or something like that, $350 retail difference. So I think the Zephyrus is going to beat it out, except for maybe a handful of CPU-bound games because of the mux switch in the Oris. So yeah, Curious Nerd says, "Boom." What? Uh, which one would you pick? Alienware M15 R5 or Zephyrus G15? Um, hmm, that's an interesting one. I between those two, that's a tough one because there's pros and cons to each of them. I like the display better. Well, I guess the Alienware technically can have a better display. It would probably depend on how it's configured. If they both have the 3070, um, if they both have the 3070, then oh yes, save, cool. No, we don't want VSync on half. We want it off. There we go. And we want to move this bar all the way to the max. Cool, cool, cool. And yep, cool. We're all good to benchmark now. This is how I run the test. Oh, I always restart this game because sometimes the settings don't take after the first time. We're gonna do a quick game restart. Oh, I forgot to include the FPS Far Cry 5 in the on-screen. Cool. Yes, I do believe I did forget that. Let's reload this, and while that's loading, I'll add this. Okay, Far Cry 5 got 128. Yes. Cool, cool, cool. I'm not going to do the 8 to 64 test. Sorry, Victor. Is this undervolted? No, it is not. But that probably will help it a little bit if you undervolt it. Which one should I go for? The MSI GP66 or the ROG Strix G15? For pure gaming performance, are they the same price? I think the GP66 is going to cost a little bit more. For pure gaming performance, though, I think you're going to get a little bit more with the GP66 because it's a 10 higher wattage base wattage and 5 higher max wattage. So I would, if you just want pure gaming performance, I would go with the GP66. If you want a great all-around computer, then I think you're going to have a harder time deciding because the Strix G15 I think has cooler RGBs and probably a bit better battery life, but I haven't tested the battery life on this yet. But yeah, and I think the Strix may be better thermally. You're not going to hit as high attempts too. What about build quality? The Aorus laptops tend to have really good build quality, in my opinion. Um, okay, for all the marbles, now what would you say is the highest performance 3070 laptop under $2,000? Oh, hold on. 1 second. Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you. Um, so I was gonna say the GP66 versus the Strix. Uh, the Strix doesn't have a mux switch, so in esports titles, it's not going to perform as well. And then if you want the best performance under $2,000 for GPU bound games, like in Red Dead Redemption 2, it's a more GPU bound game at least, especially at 1080p. Not all games are very GPU bound games nowadays, because a lot of the CPUs become the bottleneck if you're gaming at 1080p. Quad HD gaming, it becomes more GPU bound in general. And so a mux switch is not as important. Um, so that's kind of where, if you're going for a $2,000 laptop, the Scar 15 is a very nice option, I think. And at the same time, I think the GP66 for $1899 or the Aorus 15P is both of those are really great options because they have the mux switch as well. So if you play games that can benefit from a mux, then I think that's a great option. Now, I need to do some testing, right? I need to do more mux testing with the new 11th gen Intel because we have more PCIe lanes, so a mux may not be as important as it used to be. Um, we saw only a 5% FPS difference with mux enabled versus just using Optimus. So um, very interestingly enough, we may see a pretty big shift there, though, where the mux is no longer as important with the Intel 11th gen. I think you'll still see a performance benefit, but it may be only 3 to 5%. Okay, here we are in the main benchmark now. All right, now for our GPU utilization, we're at 93%. That's really good. 125 watts, 123, 124, 122. So we're not peaking out on our GPU utilization, but we're pretty close. Um, so we may be just a little bit CPU bound in this game still. 81 FPS on average, 63 are 1% lows, very good. Now let me pull up the Red Dead Redemption 2 benchmark. We're going to compare the results for this one. Um, the Scar 15 pulled 81. The Strix G17 pulled 77 in this test. So we're neck and neck right now with the Ryzen processors and with the Asus laptops. Now keep in mind that in a game like this, you'd probably typically pull 115 watts from the GPU on a Strix or Scar, and we're pulling 124. So though it'll depend because sometimes you'll boost up to that full 130 watts um, in those laptops too. So all right, so as soon as we cross the street in the wagon, we end the benchmark, and then we'll see what we got. All right, and the benchmark 7862. 7862. Very, very good. Okay, so let me go ahead and add this to the chart, and then we'll show you the chart. So this is slightly behind the Scar 15. So 7. Why aren't we? Okay, there we go. It was not typing for a second there. Cool. All right. So here is the result. And you can see, let's make sure we're showing it. Okay, so right here at the top, we're number 2 right now for the GP Leopard on the Red Dead Redemption 2 benchmark, 78. Very, very good result. 2 giant thumbs up. So CPU temps are fine. Yeah, they are okay. But it'll depend on the game, you know. And I don't think we're running into thermal throttling at this point. But I'm curious how we're going to do in Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty Warzone, I mean. Because COD Warzone is going to be a more CPU sensitive game, at least in certain areas. So we set this to highest. We set this to exclusive. Boom, boom. Cool. Here we go. Any brand US laptops use a 280 watt brick and in India 240 watt with same configuration. Will the performance in the laptop be low compared to US models due to low power watt brick in India? That depends, Jones Laura, because certain laptops don't pull over 200 watts at all. Like the Legion 7 comes with a 300 watt power brick, and yet I don't think that's pulling more than about 200 watts in total. So, because with the RTX 3060, like if it had a 3080, yeah, it'd probably pull close to the 300 watts. Um, but with a 3060, it's like not even maxing, the power brick at all. So you could probably get away with a 240 watt brick, no problem. Battlefield 5 is a great way to test CPU for temperatures. Yes, it is. I've been tempted to add Battlefield 5 to my benchmark list, but I'm not sure which game to drop to add it. So really good FPS right now from Tomb Raider. I think we did this test in the unboxing, and it did really, really well. It topped out my chart for the Tomb Raider in my unboxing test. Let's see how it does this time. Poor paste by MSI, same with Lenovo. So give it 6 months and it's going to go over 100. Well, I think it's going to thermal throttle at 95. So um, you're going to just run into stuttering. So you can see we're pulling up to 60 watts right now on the CPU. Very CPU sensitive game and memory sensitive game as well. Why don't the 11th gen Intel gaming laptops have 32 gig of RAM compared to other ones around its price in Intel 10th gen? That depends on the manufacturer and how they configure it out. I know the Aorus laptops, like the Aorus 15G, was configured with 32 gigs very generously at times. So it's just going to vary. We're hitting great FPS so far in this test. Really, really great shout out to the Tomb Raider performance. Jet and Sync, I am not undervolting it, and I did answer you earlier. I'm not sure why you're asking again. Maybe you just didn't hear me earlier, but yeah, no undervolts. This is just all stock right now. I'm not gonna test Assassin's Creed Valhalla now. Not on the testing schedule. You can see all the games we're gonna test in the down below. So let's see here. Did I add Red Dead Redemption? I did not. So let me add Red Dead Redemption results. We got 78, right? Yes. Okay, so my previous highest score for Shadow of the Tomb Raider is 116 from the Alienware Area 51M and the Alienware M17R3, both of which had i9 processors. So I'm really hoping this thing just knocks it out of the park here again. I believe we're going to hit closer to that 130 mark because we were averaging like 130, 140 in earlier sections of the game test. So let's see what we get. 131. Absolutely insane. Very crazy performance here. Um, I love it. I love seeing increases in performance. The gains are incredible. Um, let me go ahead and make the graph here, and then we can show you the graph here. And wow, it's it's very crazy difference. Oh man. All right, and I'm gonna change the color of the graph here at the same time. Okay. Are you guys ready to see this? Okay, so here it is. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 131. We are beating out every other laptop I've ever tested, and I run this test the same way on every laptop I can. Of course, drivers difference. Um, there's a difference in drivers between the laptops and different generations, and I think we had a couple more FPS when we did the unboxing test on the laptop. But very, very good performance. Exceptionally good. Okay, next up, Rainbow Six Siege. Here we go. Did I get the M16? No, I did not. Not yet. Um, whoa, so nice. Beating even the Scar. Yes, it's very Shadow of the Tomb Raider does very well on Intel CPUs. And especially if you have really fast memory, it does really, really well. M16 and S17 might release in June, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure when they're gonna release. Wow, 131. Yeah, it's pretty good, huh? Let's check my did I add Shadow of the Tomb Raider? 131. Yeah, it's a very, very impressive performance, I would say. I don't know why it says 785 for Red Dead Redemption 2. And CSGO also has the incorrect one. Let's see here. Oh wait, no, 464 is correct. That's correct. Isn't it insane? It's so insane. It looks wrong at first. Um, yeah. Legion 5 Pro release date approximately. I don't know what it is officially, but I saw a Reddit comment saying that some Lenovo rep said, so this is like a he said, she said type of situation, that it's going to be by the end of May. They're going to do the Legion 5 Pro, but I don't know in the US. I don't know about that. Um, there was a company that's selling the Legion 5 Pro, I think, at a markup in the United States. I think it's Ant Online or something like that. But I'd never heard of the company, so I didn't want to add it to my sheet. And I don't want a whole bunch of people to order it and then it's like a scam site or something. Uh, and plus I don't like websites that scalp. And I don't know if that site is doing that officially or not, but that's what some people were saying on Reddit that they did. A bunch of people on Reddit ordered it. I'm not sure if they had success. Um, if they did find success, I will add it to the sheet as an option. Okay, so we set this to ultra, very high, render scaling. We want 100%. Full screen 240, VSync off. Cool. I believe all of this is good. We have a 5 Pro in Romania, but it's at $1,500 with Ryzen 5 and 3060. Yeah, that's probably not worth it. Legion is not the hottest Ryzen laptop. Legion is not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the hottest laptops are. I wouldn't say the Legion's the hottest, but the Legion definitely, with higher TDPs, it becomes more challenging to keep the temperatures low. So we are killing this benchmark. Our 1% FPS low is higher than the screen refresh rate of 240 hertz. So even our 1% lows are like above the screen refresh rate. So I'm gonna see how this stacks up. We're gonna add this one to the chart for Rainbow Six Siege. Looks like we're gonna be right up there with the very best of them. 330 approximately. Yep, 330 for our average FPS. Absolutely insane. Let me go ahead and add this to the chart, and then I'll switch to the chart view after I've added it here. What's our 1%? I didn't see what our 1% low was. Let's see here. Go back. So at the end, our 1% low was 243. Cool. That's very good. 243 and 330. All right. Wow. Okay. Cool. Well, that's the highest 1% low we've had in a laptop on this test. Let me go ahead and show you the graph. Cool. So here is, let me make this the right color. Here's our test. You can see very insane performance compared to these other laptops. It's right up there with the very best. So you can see that this is the best performance out of any laptop I've ever tested. On the internal laptop display, this ROG Strix G17 with 329 FPS and the Scar 15 are on external monitors. So those have bypassing Optimus basically. So built-in with the built-in mux though, we're pushing the best frames per second we've seen. And when you compare this to, for example, here's an Intel 10th gen RTX 3070 95 watt for the GS66 Stealth. An i7-10800H got 256. So this is a huge jump up in Rainbow Six Siege, though this is partially because of GPU performance probably in addition to CPU. It's like the combination of both. But you can see that the Razer Blade Pro 17 with a 2080 Super Max Q got 256. So again, massive performance gains with RTX 3000 and a high TDP. Very interesting result, I think. Very nice. Cool, cool, cool. That is very impressive result for sure from Rainbow Six Siege. Let's check out The Witcher. 1% low is like the it represents kind of how much the laptop is stuttering, is the way I think of it. Like if the laptop is experiencing a lot of skipping or stuttering, the 1% low will be very low. Um, it'll be significantly below the average. You know how like your screen freezes sometimes? Um, that's kind of what the 1% low represents. So we want ultra, and then we want high, and we want no hairworks. And for our graphics setting, we want full screen. Cool. Okay, we're good. Do. I'm not going to try undervolting in this video, but I think I want to make another live stream where we just try to undervolt it and test it a couple of games and run some tests. We haven't tested the Cinebench R23 yet. Nice if. It's coming up still. All right. So here we go. Wow, our FPS is very good at 25,000. Okay. All right. So we just run through over here. Just kind of get a look at everything because Witcher kind of has a. Why won't you turn around, Witcher? Don't fall off. No! Oh God. Oh goodness. I just wouldn't turn around. I'm telling it to go the other way, and the Witcher's like. Okay, that's pretty funny. All right. Do you have the fan on full blast? Yes, I do. It's on full blast. You killed him. Well, Geralt had just couldn't take the grief from his lost love. You know what I'm saying? It's too sad. It's a very sad day. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Starting the benchmark off. Gotta get turned around. Turning around in this game is a bit janky. I'm not gonna lie, especially with a keyboard. Probably with a controller, it's a bit better. Like, see, I'm trying to turn around. It's like not turning around. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 Go that way. All right. Now we're ready to go. All right. Hooray. All right. Here we go. Benchmark time. Do do do. Huzzah! Ha! Dive. Resurface. Swim, swim, swim. Did you get the M16? No, I have not. No one's got it. I do want to do a test of it though. I don't know when the RX 6000 series is going to come to laptops. We're having good temperatures in this game. 75 degrees and 72. But the CPU is not being very utilized, and you can see that our this is a game where we're pushing our TDP on the GPU all the way to the max. Look at that, 135 watts in at least in The Witcher, at least for parts of it. You'll be able to pull that. Okay, so we got 143, 126. 143, 126. So very good 1% low. And I believe that's a very good result. I don't know. Do I have a Witcher? I do have a Witcher 3. This is the number one result on my Witcher chart. Another number one result for this laptop, which is just that's incredible. All right. I'm putting it in here. All right. So one was a 126, 143. Yes. All right. And wow. All right. So you can see right here, this is our result. The GP66 Leopard got 143. The Scar 15 got 134. GE66 with a 2080 Supermax Q with an i9-10980HK got 129. So we're beating out even the 2080 Supermax Q with an i9. At least in this section of The Witcher, it's a very GPU-bound section of the game, it seems like, because we're able to push the GPU to the max TDP. But very good results, even beating a 3080 in this game. Shows you how optimized this laptop is. 5000 series, you mean? I'm not sorry. Maybe I misspoke. I'm not sure what I misspoke on though, so it's hard for me to correct it. All right. Next up, so that's all the stuff from Steam. We're moving on to our next game platform. Let's do Fortnite next. Is it bad to hit 90C in games? Only if you reach thermal throttling and you're seeing stuttering, I think. But the downside of hitting 90C in games is that if your thermal paste ever degrades, you'll likely run into thermal throttling. So, because over time, you'll probably see a little bit higher temperatures, and then you'll want to repaste, ideally. What do I think of the Alienware M15R5? I haven't made my conclusive thoughts on it yet. The initial impressions were a bit mixed in some regards, so it didn't knock off my socks, at least in terms of gaming performance. on initial impressions. But it is a very portable laptop. It's almost like the Zephyrus G15, almost as thin, a little bit deeper. And if you can get it at the right price, I think it's decent. But the model I got is a bit expensive, though you get advanced Optimus and a really nice display, 360 hertz with G-Sync with advanced Optimus. So you're paying a little bit extra for that perk, basically. Scar 15 at QHD might win, I guess. Yeah, it might. Jen. Yeah, it might at a higher resolution. The 3080 might pull back, but it's hard to say for sure exactly what would happen. Okay, we got to get through all of the season reward spam. You have to go through all of this, which is just, I think, yeah. How do I? Oh, Epic Games, why do you do this? Like, what am I supposed to? I don't want to buy your battle pass. I'm gonna go back and select game mode. I think I might bypass the battle pass spam. Okay, close. There we go. Okay, settings, unlimited. We want full screen. We want lowest, view distance, epic, shadows off, anti-aliasing off, epic textures, low, VSync off, motion blur off. We're gonna test DirectX 12, and sure, we can allow multi-core rendering. Cool. Yes. Did all of that save? Oh, you want 3D resolution set to 100%. All right. Cool. All right, so this is basically like the ultra level of performance settings. We're going to restart the game now, so it goes into DX12 mode. What laptop do you recommend for doing business and schoolwork and sometimes play video games with? Good battery life, go to college. M15, R3, R4, R5, a good option, or MacBook Pro better? I'd probably recommend something like the Zephyrus G15, but I'd recommend checking out the sheet. Maybe the Zephyrus G14 or G15 if you want to do gaming on the side. If you went with the MacBook route, you basically would only be able to play most games using game streaming, which is going to be terrible for any kind of competitive gaming, but it would be all right for AAA, slower paced gaming. Is it possible to buy extra memory and install it ourselves on the GP66 Leopard? I believe so. I didn't take the bottom off this laptop though, but MSI typically lets you swap the memories. It's almost never soldered, so I'm pretty sure you'd be able to swap the memory. But I don't think you're going to see much gaming improvement on performance if you swap the memory, because I think MSI put some really good memory in this already stock. Like, and the best evidence of that is um, our absolutely insane score that we got in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So here, I think it's Battle Lab, but don't we need to set? We are just gonna play some regular mode in Fortnite, okay? Level Legion 7 was insane. Thanks for reviewing that beast. Yeah, I haven't actually done a review on it, just it's the live streams. To me, the live streams are good for getting some good information, but it's not like actual equal to a full review to me. Because in a full review, I do like detailed analysis and pros and cons and stuff. Are OLED laptops worth it? Mainly, I think OLED laptops are worth it if you really want really punchy, bright screen. You know how you like your smartphone can get like super just bright and vibrant and has really deep contrast. If you want that in a laptop screen, that's you want to get an OLED. But if you're mainly gaming, you're gonna miss out on the smoothness. It's an anime character. What? They added that style to the game? Really? Interesting. Like it's like cell shader style, which is different than they typically do. I mean, they kind of have an anime-ish style to some of these characters, but it's definitely different. OLED is responsive, but it's a low. So it depends on the OLED you get, but a lot of OLEDs can have a very low response time, so that's a good thing. So minimal ghosting, but it's just the hertz refresh rate of the OLED will likely be very low, like only 60. So it's just not going to look as fluid no matter what you do, basically. Okay, let's see what kind of FPS we get. So we're on DX12, we're on low settings. You can see that we're not getting maximum GPU or CPU utilization, which indicates this game is not perfectly optimized. All right, and oh my God, there's a player already. The mistakes were made. Give me another alternative weapon because I'll probably run out of ammo on this one. Thank you. Oh, 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 oh. I see something blue over there. I wonder if any of these people are bots. So we know there's people in the area though. Ooh, we're hitting over 400 FPS now. Dang. Yes, I will take a bow. It's interesting that Fortnite and Apex Legends both added a bow at the same time, approximately, to the game. Pro color gamut. It's interesting that we have uh, so much of the more, whatever it's called, the 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 lines here that you're seeing here on the display in the camera. It wasn't doing that, I felt like, in my earlier live stream. So there's probably some video setting we changed that's making it more apparent. So wow, we're averaging over 300 FPS right now in Fortnite. This is a great experience, obviously. Trying to find some enemies to kill. Where are you, enemies? Whoa, we can collect stuff. Oh, wow. We're foraging items. Oh, hey, there's an enemy. Do do do. Do 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 do. Come back. Oh, we one shot him. Headshot, one shot. Let's go. We have anything good? Oh my gosh. Oh, sit down. This bow is OP. Why is CPU running so hot? Um, we're putting 42 watts, and it's in the 80s. I think that's reasonable. That said, this is a very CPU bound game. So it's going to Like it can be a CPU game. If you run it on high settings, it's GPU bound. But what am I trying to say? Mid 80s is not bad. I wouldn't consider that hot because that's not going to cause any kind of thermal throttling, and it gives us headroom for if the thermal paste gets a little bit worse over time. So I think that's reasonable. But yeah, wow, this is some great Fortnite performance. If you're a Fortnite player, I think this laptop would be just awesome for the vast majority of people. Oh, we hit you for 85. How'd you like that? Are you really rushing me? What are you? Why are you rushing me when I just knocked you for 65? What is this gun? It's an SMG. Interesting. Okay. My grandma's desktop runs Fortnite. Yeah. Yeah, but your grandma's desktop probably doesn't run it that well. That's the difference. Like this is definitely some very good performance. And people that play Fortnite like competitively want to have like 300 FPS constantly and never have it slow down on them. So I just can't die. I'm invincible. Okay. So let's go towards Pleasant Park. Wait, where's my map? Okay. We need to go this way. What is this? Firefly jar. Does that hurt people? I need to find more shields if I'm gonna. Can I set textures to low? I don't think that's gonna make any difference. That's a very GPU only item. I don't want to get rid of that. Well, let's drop. Oh, yeah, I can't use that. Okay. What the? Oh, that's right. It's the bouncy thing. All right, we can set the textures to low. I don't care, but this is how I test it. Okay, yeah, we're hitting over 400 now. Ooh. Oh, we missed them. They went into the air and then we almost killed them. I have not tried OCing the CPU. I want to do a separate stream probably for that specifically because that's like a project. Come to dada. Oh, that that was very nice. That was very nice. Very nice. They could have shot me too. I like if they hit me with the bow, I'm one shot. Like they just don't even realize it. You can swim now. For wait, could you, no, you couldn't. I don't think you could swim back when I played Fortnite. But yeah, we're hitting over 400 now FPS with everything on low. Okay, I gotta build. Okay, I'm just having fun. I would have ended the test already, but I'm just having fun, so we're just gonna finish out this match, and then we'll go to the next game. I just wish I could get some shields so I could maybe compete to win the game. I mean, there's still 27 people left. That's a lot of people, so we're probably just gonna die. I mean, we're pretty much on all low settings, right? I mean, I don't think is there anything we can even possibly set to increase the FPS? View distance on low would be the only thing, I believe. But that's not worth doing. I don't think anyone would do that because it's better to have view distance on high so you can see players and objects draw in sooner. I'm just gonna get one shot by a bow somewhere. Pretty sure that's what's about to happen. What does this mean? Is this a NPC in here? Am I about to die to the NPC? I am about to die to the NPC, aren't I? Oh yeah. Oh, what is happening right now? Oh, we're amazing, guys. We're not amazing. Oh wait, did that guy just die? What even is happening? Okay. Wouldn't it be smoother to lock FPS to 240? I don't think so. I think you want the FPS coming as quickly as possible. Um, Overall, obviously insane FPS. I don't think we need to do any more testing on this. That is great. That is incredible. Um, I mean, you're gonna. That's there. Who's gonna not be satisfied with that level of performance in Fortnite? Okay. GG. Thanks. Thanks. That was a good game. Do I recommend this laptop? Buy Rad? Yes. This laptop's amazing. I want some COD action. Yeah, we can do COD after this. We'll do Warzone after this. Call of Duty Warzone. For school and gaming, G15 or Legion 7. I think either one of those could be really good. Though the Legion the Zephyrus G15 is going to be quite a bit more portable. So if you want more portability, that's probably the route to go. If you want more performance, I think the Legion 7 should perform a little bit better if you have the same specs because it's a higher TDP. Does your Scar 15 CPU throttle when streaming gameplay, CPU-bound games from the Scar or from the same machine? Um, I haven't tried streaming much gameplay from the laptop, so I'm not sure. I mainly just stream um, with my cameras and stuff. So I mean Fortnite performance, I'm just gonna put that down at like I don't know. Let me see. Let me see what kind of the average was near let me see what the average was part of the way through the match. 403. If it was averaging 403 at the end, but that was with the textures off. With textures on I mean, when textures were on, um, let me see. So with textures on high, it was getting 342. So that's what I put for my comparison for now. Um, Fortnite, and I do not have a test really I can do with Fortnite anymore to compare. So I don't have a comparison chart for Fortnite. Full screen, 1080, all looking good. VSync off, FPS limiter off, quality. We want to go to Ultra, and then we want to turn RTX to Ultra, DLSS to quality, and then we run benchmark. Okay. You can see that VRAM usage, it says it's 9 gigs out of 8 gigs, but I don't think it's actually going to use that much at 1080p, but you, it's, this is the most VRAM intensive game out of all the games, I believe, that we test. So it's one of the few games that can benefit from it, especially at higher resolutions. What about Rainbow Six Siege? Go back in Indian Bros. That it is. Did I put that in here? Rainbow Six Siege got 330, I believe. Okay, yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege got 330. All right? I can double check it. Um, yeah, 330. 242 for the 1% low. Do you prefer the GE66 or the GP66 in terms of build quality and screen? I believe the GE66 offers a higher quality display, though it's very close. And then in terms of build quality, they are basically identical metal builds that are like I think carbon copies of each other. So, but the GE66 has the RGB strip, which I love RGB. So if you're the kind of person that likes RGB, the GE66 may be worth the extra money. But it definitely costs more, and you're not really getting your money's worth aside from the extra RGB factor or the cool factor. So basically, right? 64 and 50 for our 1% low. 64 and 50. I believe that's good. 64.50. Now, I believe that's very good. I can try adding that to my chart here, but let me get the second benchmark running. Got to change the settings off. Take RTX and DLSS and disable them. Off and off. Okay. RTX and DLSS. Run benchmark. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so Watch Dogs Legion is a game that if it runs out of VRAM, it'll actually start stuttering on you. And right there, it did not do that. You end up with really low 1% lows. So that's why I think it doesn't actually use the full amount. All right, here we are. We're doing RTX and DLSS off for Watch Dogs Legion. Let me try getting this added to the chart for Watch Dogs Legion. There we go. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so this tops out the chart for Watch Dogs Legion 2. Jeez. Okay, this is a very good performance on this laptop. 64 and 50. Love it. Okay. I'll let this benchmark finish out, then I'll show you the graph. Soldered RAM or upgradable? I believe it's upgradable. I haven't taken the bottom off, but I'm pretty sure it is. I usually buy smaller laptops like the G14. What's up, Tech with Sean? I think it was hitting the VRAM limit at the end of the benchmark when the GPU usage dropped. We could try adding the memory to the overlay and running it one more time, but I'm pretty sure it does not hit the VRAM limit. Well, we'll see. That's the first time I noticed them. They're like duking it out. They're like punching away. Also, what's up, Sean? Welcome to the stream. Okay. 77 and 63. Like for example, when you run into a hard VRAM, when you run into the VRAM hard limit in games, like in VR, you'll run into like nonstop stuttering because the buffer is constantly emptying and filling, and it just doesn't have enough. So sometimes games like this will say it's using 9 gigs, but it's really trying just to allocate that much. It's not actually using that much, so it doesn't actually cause any stuttering. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we are good to show the screen. Okay, so here is the performance of the GP66 Leopard. You can see at the very top here. 64 FPS. The previous highest was with the Scar 15 with an RTX 3080. 62. Pushing these things to the new limit in a bunch of different games for this GP66. Love it. Now I'm not sure if the GE76 outdid this. I believe it did. So keep in mind that some of these benchmarks are going to be beat out by the GE76. Okay, on to Call of Duty Warzone. Um, so we exit Epic Games, we exit Ubisoft, and we open this guy up. I think I'm going to have to log in again. It automatically logged in. That's nice. It's very nice. And Warzone. Here we go. I mean, if you're just doing the casual gaming, the Zephyrus G14 is great, and casual or lighter games, it's going to be able to play tons of games really, really well. How would I rate this against the Legion 7? I haven't done the benchmarking for the Legion 7 yet. Well, I mean, I'm tired tonight, getting ready to sell/buy our house. Oh man, that's a big step. I hope you're able to get the house you want and you don't have any problems with it. I know it can be very nerve wracking. Okay. Well, it doesn't want to let me log in for now. Do the keys feel mushy or clicky? The keys feel soft on a lot of the new MSI laptops. I actually really like it. Other people aren't going to like the keyboard though. If you like a really clicky keyboard, then I'd say go for the optomechanical keyboard on like the Scar 15 and Scar 17. That's a really nice clicky mechanical feel to it. Okay, and the best laptop for just business, no games. Um, Manual. I think if you're not going to do any games, then you can get something really thin like an Ultrabook. You know, if you don't need a high-end processor, you just get something that's like a solid processor and a very light profile with a great screen and battery life. Are the keys balanced? Yeah, they feel. I'm not sure what you mean by balanced, but I think so. All right, let's go ahead and check our options here. The sensitivity, we're going to set to 6. Our graphics, full screen, 240. All right, and we're going to disable everything. Last time when we enabled everything, we saw higher FPS for some reason with the GE76. Don't know what that was about, but still very baffled by that whole thing. So if you know what's going on with Warzone performance, when you set the settings to max, I got more, higher FPS. Let me know. Okay, off to the practice arena to see our base comparison spec. Are MSI not using the Steel Series keyboards anymore? No, this says the Steel Series keyboard. It says Steel Series logo on the deck. It has the same build as the Raider. Yeah, it feels and looks identical to the GE66 Raider, minus the RGB on the front. Why is the Strix G17 sold out everywhere always? Because it's a very high value bang for the buck, and it didn't have very much competition. And now we've got a lot of competition. You know, Got a lot of competition for the Strix G17, you know. And also the Ryzen 5000 series had limited supplies. So now I think the Intel 11th gen is definitely going to give the Ryzen series more of more people a reason to buy an Intel 11th gen. You know, before it was like get an Intel 11th gen because you can't buy a Ryzen 5000. Um, and even though you didn't really notice much of a gain in most gaming performance, you know. Okay, and we're gonna land right here. Do 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 do. Cool. Oh, interesting. They changed this a bit. Okay, well, this is a little bit different. The gas is shrinking faster, but we're getting 165, 120. Really? Dang. Um, 165, 126. Okay, we're gonna roll with that for our value. I'm gonna run around here and shoot a couple people, and then we'll go to a match. Keep in mind this is gonna be a bit lower. Sorry, this is gonna be a bit higher than what you're gonna get in an actual match. Warzone. Be our training match. Okay, and we got 165, 127. Let's see what we get in solos. So this, I believe, is the highest I've ever seen in the at least for this is the highest I've ever seen in this practice zone. But they did change it a bit. Like they made it so that it's quite a bit different. They like slid the zone over so you fight over here now. You can see we're getting absolutely crazy good FPS though. Really good. This is the best FPS I've seen in the game, in the practice lobby at least. I love this game. Love the feel, the optimization of it. Wow, over 200 FPS. At least in this really basic to easy to render road. uh, let's see what it gets in an actual match with real players. It's got to get a lot less than this, I think. What are you doing? What you doing? Trying to drop in behind me? All right, we can leave this game. Go to play a solo match here. Um, can you show the frame time too? I don't usually show the frame time. CPU temps are high. It's a very CPU intensive game. They're gonna be high. I do not want trios though. I want solos, so I don't feel bad if I have to leave the match early. Is the G14 that bad? I might just get a MacBook. Well, if you want to do gaming, I wouldn't recommend a MacBook. Is this laptop undervoltable? I believe it is. I have not done it yet, but people in chat have mentioned it, so I believe it is. The G14 the G14 will hit 144 hertz in a lot of titles that a lot of the lighter weight titles, but nothing not at the heavier duty titles for sure. Why do we undervolt laptops? Because manufacturers like Intel will oftentimes um, overdo the voltage on the processor to make it more stable. Because every processor is a little bit different, and based on the silicon lottery, they basically have to apply enough voltage so that even the worst possible processors are stable. So by undervolting, you basically are experimenting with your silicon lottery um, to see how low of a voltage you can run and still be stable. Does that make sense? So some processors, like in the 10th gen, could undervolt by minus 50 only and then become unstable, and others could go to minus 150. But the more that you can undervolt, the better your processor is in the silicon lottery, essentially. Why did they block undervolting in a lot of the recent laptops? Because of security issues. There was a security loophole that allowed people to. The security loophole basically let people hack into your laptop through the undervolting. It was like a so they disabled it on a lot of them, and then they patched it, and then they started allowing it again. Who shot me? Who is shooting me with the rockets? Oh my god! Someone on top there, I think. But I don't know how much you should expect. I don't know how much you should expect from undervolting on this thing. I wouldn't expect too much. It's like some people are saying it'll be the perfect machine when you undervolt it. Sometimes undervolting does a lot, sometimes it doesn't, and it'll vary from CPU to CPU and generation to generation. Wow, we're getting 130 FPS right now. This is the highest FPS I've seen, aside from maybe the GE76, but even I think this is a little higher than that even. So Fortnite was on ultra settings? No, Fortnite was on lowest settings. I should say in the I should say in there. Let me see. There, I added it so it says low settings. Okay, we're gonna go to the downtown environment. If we can jump that far. I don't know if we can make it that far. It's funny they brought in this whole fleet of helicopters, and then you only all jump out of one of the helicopters. Oh, it's kind of funny. So, whoa, no, no way. This dude murdered me midair. Impressive. Oh, God, screw you. Oh, it'd be funny if that guy was a stream sniper. Very, very nice. Wow. Got him. All right. Well, maybe we can still go to downtown. Okay, so our CPU temperatures are really hot, real spicy, and that's because this is a game that can take advantage of a lot of cores. So I'm expecting very high temperatures in this game, but the actual gameplay FPS is very high. 130? This is the highest I've seen, or very close to the very highest, especially for the price point. This is the highest I've seen in this game. Let's see what we get in some actual gameplay here. Let's go. Let's just hope no one's home. Maybe we can get a gun up at the top. Is the keyboard hot? No. The keyboard is Nice temperature. Ooh, we got a sniper. That's not gonna help me if I get into an indoor fight, but we'll try sniping a little bit. What do we get here? Most wanted contract. Okay, I'm gonna start I just refreshed the benchmark. Let's go and run over to the part of the city where I always test it. Hopefully I don't attract anyone's attention here. All right. Well, this looks different. They changed the map. Great. Okay. Well, this is where I benchmark inside the city, and it's been changed. Unless I'm in a different part of the city. I might be in a different part of the city, but I don't think so. They must have changed the map. Okay, we're getting 108 FPS here. Um, that's good. That's not amazing though. That's a bit disappointing. This is where I think we're very CPU bound in this area. Oh, someone shoot at me? We running. Oh, we running. Um, is my contract to protect myself? Did it give someone else some? This is new, I think, right? Oh goodness. Oh goodness, we're getting shot by the helicopter. Let me in. Meow. Which 15-inch light gaming laptop under 1300 would you recommend? I mean, probably the Omen 15Z. There's only a handful of laptops that have good specs at that price range. So, check my sheet, and you can see my recommendations um, for laptops I recommend. So, is it just that helicopter that's trying to come for me, or what's going on with that? Yes, I have something other than a pistol for short range. It's not much. Well, I'll take it. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Too long of a weapon swap time, man. This guy's stream sniping. Look at this. He killed me twice. Screw you, Connolly. Screw you, man. All right. That dude definitely be stream sniping. All right. Quit desktop. Very nice. Well, that was very good performance in Warzone. Exceptionally good performance in Warzone. I don't. As far as being able to compare, it's hard to compare that because they changed the battle royale practice mode. I'll put that in there anyway. Let's see here. Okay, what do we use for solos though? Because it just varied so much. I think we're going to use that road, the benchmark road. So checking that out again. Got 108 FPS for that section. 108.98. No, what was that? 88 or 80? 80. Okay. All right. All right. Let's move on. Fans are on Max. Yes, Max fans. This one costs $18.99. This laptop costs $18.99. I don't. I'm gonna do under tests on it. I'm gonna do undervolts in a different video. Not this one. Don't have time. Got to keep moving through the games. But I want to do another separate session undervolting, and then we might be able to compare the results. All right. So we are going on to Apex Legends now. Apex Legends. Very nice. Wait, seriously, the laptop is thermal throttling on Max fans? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a laptop where they prioritize CPU game performance. Well, how you say? They did not prioritize CPU thermal performance. That's the way to the right way to phrase it. Um, it results in high temperatures, but still really good performance because it's enough. But it's not like we're pushing really high temperatures. Well, sorry, it's not like we're pushing really high wattage to the CPU though. Like a lot of laptops can push higher CPU wattage and still have much better temperatures. Okay, so we're going to go to the firing range. HD textures are downloading. This game should have been downloaded. Why is it not downloaded? What is this? It says 32%. Interesting. Can we see the comparison in COD? So I don't have if you're looking for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, not Warzone, then I don't have that installed or I don't own it for benchmarking. Um, but the thing about if we compare Warzone performance, the thing is it's a bit different now. So I don't think it's a valid comparison. Um, what what the heck? Man, my graphs got messed up somehow in a couple of them. Anyway, let me see if I can find. So in previous Warzones tests, I had gotten 139 in that training mode. So the previous one, the highest was the GS66 stealth. I'll show it to you. But keep in mind this is not something that I would consider as like a good comparison. I was there. Sorry, it switched to full mode. There it is. So you can see previously we had 139, and I don't think this is a good comparison for that reason. So I wouldn't focus on this as a comparison point at all because they changed the training mode, which is the first time they've changed it so far since I started playing Warzone. So can't do the comparisons with that anymore. So is 95C safe for long-term gaming? Yeah, I think you're safe in the sense that the laptop was designed to go to that temperature regularly and all the time without dying. But it can cause stuttering and issues potentially in gameplay, and it's suboptimal performance-wise in my mind. So I always prefer to keep it to around 45, sorry, about 85 degrees or less, ideally in games. So that's definitely a downside to this laptop, though as we saw, the performance was still very good in the laptop. So it's a really weird mixed bag is the way I guess would describe it, you know? Because you're like, you don't want those high temperatures. This laptop features higher TDP on the GPU, so you're trading off TDP on the GPU from TDP on the CPU. Like basically, they're focused on the heat pipes. is more leaning towards the GPU on this laptop than the CPU. Didn't think the Ryzen 9 would give such a good fight without a mux in that scar. Yeah, it does surprisingly well, and that's if you bypass it, it's surprisingly good too. So it says HD textures are downloading still, and yet it's still saying at 32%. I'm gonna give it like a couple minutes here, and if it doesn't go through, then I'm just gonna say screw it. We're gonna go in and at least just see the performance. Turn off VSync, disable reflex, turn off that, turn off that, everything to low. Cool. All right. So let's see if we make any progress on this front. Only 2 heat pipes on the CPU. Yeah, MSI seems to be doing that a lot on their laptops. They basically just run 2 heat pipes. Oh, we need to change the FPS max to be more than 240 in the launch options. So many different things. I believe it's FPS underscore max. I believe that's the command, but I should make sure. Plus FPS underscore. Yep. Okay. I remembered. Sorry uh if you think I'm ignoring you, I'm not. It's just a matter of I can only read so much chat and I'm kind of busy on the screen at the same time. Does Optimus really affect this much, or people cry over 5 to 10 FPS? It depends on the game. Some games are much more Mux and Optimus sensitive. Um, and on top of that, we don't know how the 11th gen is going to do with a Mux versus no Mux. And I'm going to do a test on that um, coming up, but it's just a matter of um, it's a matter of timing. So that's a plan. That's the plan. Are you going to review the Legion 7 Ryzen 9 3080 anytime soon? Um, I currently don't have the ability to get my hands on it, but I might. If I can, I would like to review that. I guess just put it that way. So we're gonna do a quick, just look at the rough FPS here for Apex Legends. We go to the middle one, which I think is this one. Stand on the end of the steps, look at the banner, and see what we get. Uh, we're hitting 299 for an FPS cap now. Because it's not going above 299. We're just locking to 299. Bummer. Okay, I guess we need to type in actually unlimited into the launch properties. When Lenovo gets a unit to him. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'll do a Legion 7 RTX 3080 when Lenovo gets me a unit, or I can buy one. I would not mind upgrading to a, well, see, I think right now the laptop I'm leaning towards buying next for my own personal use will be an i9-11980HK with an RTX 3080 165 watt. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but looks like it's not going above 300 FPS again. Maybe that's just a hard cap limit now. How late is it for you? It's 11:57, so almost midnight. But I've been going to bed at like 3 a.m., so it's not a problem. My priority is Rainbow Six Siege. Well, this laptop is awesome for Rainbow Six Siege for sure. Must be nice to afford that. Yeah. What's the TDP of the 3080 Scar 17? It's supposed to be 115 to 130, unless they've changed it. I heard somewhere that they had updated the BIOS allowing for higher TDP, but I haven't looked into that lately. But I need to go look into that. Okay, so we're just hitting the cap, 300 FPS cap. I don't think that's going to be the case inside of the game. So, how's the laptop so far? Just got here. Very hot CPU, but very good performance. That's the way I would basically sum it up. What's my day job? This is my day job. I'm doing this full time now. When am I testing Valorant? I already tested Valorant in the live unboxing. Um, that said, I will probably still open it up again in this stream. Gizmo, I gotta know how much you make a month YouTubing overall. I don't really share that, and plus it varies so much, a lot. So, am I hiring? Kind of. I need to get someone to help me manage the sheet, and I need someone to help me sell the laptops. Probably needs to be in person. What game next? Well, we still have to do Valorant, and what else do we have to do? We've got Valorant and Apex Legends, and then we've got Cinebench R20 and R23. Okay, well we can't do Pathfinder. I guess we'll go Gibby. Very nice. Is Fortnite done? Yeah, you go back to check out Fortnite. I already did that one. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to sell laptops or eBay. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is probably the place I'll sell some of them. I am the jump master. We're going in hot. Oh, yes, okay. I forgot about that. All right. Wow. Okay, we're hitting 300 FPS in the sky. Look up at the sky, get infinite FPS. All right. Um, so did they abandon me? I hope not. All right, let's see what we get for our FPS here. We got double R99. I love that. Um, but we'll probably not want that ultimately. Probably gonna want to get ourselves like a G7 Scout plus R99 or Peacekeeper maybe. I'll do an R301 for now. That sounds good. I would love a oh, I would love a sight. Cool, thank you. Oh, extended mag. I'll take that. Uh-oh. Our teammate went down. He's pinging his banner and he went down. Oh yeah, doofus. Oh yeah. Oh, yes. Wish I could just swap. Oh, goodness. Where are you coming from? No, I don't have any years. So, okay, what do we get? We averaged 255 FPS. That's that's really good. 255, 145. Um, dang. 255, 145. Okay, that's crazy. That's above our refresh rate on this laptop. Uh, plus trios. We got two. What was it? 245, 255? Two, no, two. I'm not sure. Let me go back. 252, one. Okay, so 252, 145. Okay. Impressive. Very impressive FPS. Again, such a great laptops for esports. Um, okay. Let's see. On to Valorant, and then we have Cinebench, and yeah. All right. Well, we could run. Let's go ahead and run Cinebench now. Chicka chicka chicka. Kaboom boom boom ba-dum. All right. All right. So we can see what our temperatures are like. We're already spiking. We're already thermal throttling a bit. 95 degrees Celsius. Oh, I'm gonna reset this. Okay, so we have our new average here. Looks like we're hitting 95 degrees Celsius on a couple of the cores. Some of the cores are only at 80. So I bet you with the repaste job, we'll get more consistent temperatures here. And I'll bet you this is a part of the reason why we're getting spikes in temperatures in some of the games. So most likely, if a better repaste job with a more even repaste would probably bring all of the temperatures down to like the mid 80s instead of 90s on some of them. Like these cores may be located on the outside of the die or something. Forty-four 60. I'm gonna close these. And the first runs don't matter. The first two runs basically just don't count. First couple of runs. We're gonna make sure we have everything out, everything closed that we don't need open, except for HW info and afterburner. Yeah, core 3 and core 5. Core 7. Core 3, 5, 7. I'll bet you those are on the outside of the die. Or don't have good even pressure applied to them or something. What is my ambient temperature? It's like around 73 degrees Fahrenheit. 4498. Did we not score higher than this? I swear we scored higher than this. 4498 though. During the live unboxing. Right? I think we got like 40. I'm looking here. Uh MSI GP66. Oh, wait. Did I not? GP66. I thought I added this, but I may not have added it. $46.21. So, and if anyone's confused about like why I keep HW info open, it's I do this on every laptop I test, so it's consistent. And yes, this will reduce the score just a little bit across every laptop, but this is how I monitor it and make sure that we're peaking and everything, and everything's running properly. So you can see we're pulling 65 watts of power pretty consistently. It's obviously very good, but 3.7 gigahertz across all cores. So all core turbos, it's good. It's not great. I'll say that much for sure. And the temperature is really high on a couple of these cores, and that's definitely causing thermal throttling, and it's certainly hindering our potential performance in this laptop. And I'm pretty confident a repaste job would improve our temperatures and probably our performance a bit. So 4519. I'm gonna start recording the scores now. 4519. The CPU used to be better and cooler in the unboxing. I guarantee. Hmm. I mean, the fans are running. Ah, wasn't on max fan. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Was no max fan. When was it? When did max fan turn off, and at what point did that happen? Let's keep running it. That definitely affects things, right? That can definitely affect the temperature and performance. Rutro. Looks like we'll have to do some retesting. It wasn't on cooler boosts. We probably restarted the laptop at some point, and that's when it turned off. I'll have to figure out what that point was. And I thought it was on, but I couldn't tell because I had these on. Does anyone game with max fans though? I do. Um, if I have headphones on, I definitely do a lot because I can't even hear the fans at all, and it keeps the chassis cooler, and better performance typically. So 4639 for that run. And the whole point of this is to find out what it's like when you're thermal throttling at the peak of performance. So I'm okay with letting this run. I always game with max fans, just need a good pair of headphones. Yeah, that's exactly it. You had 5088 in the unboxing live video, but that was also best case scenario. It throttled down closer to what it's at now, I believe. But I think it was closer to like 4800, 4900, bouncing around that range during the unboxing. Let me see. Maybe if we go to user turbo, let's see if that affects anything. I don't think that's going to change anything though, because we're already reaching thermal throttling. 4650. Here, let me put this over here, and then we can zoom in. I can zoom in for you guys to see this info a bit better. So you can see we're hitting 3.8 gigahertz on all cores. You can see our temperatures, core 3, core 5, and core 7 are spiking on temps and causing some thermal throttling to happen. I would buy this MSI GP. Hold on a second, I gotta finish this. 4680, so we're getting up there, a little higher in performance. So I would buy this MSI GP66 Leopard with the 3080 right now if I knew I could buy some RAM and upgrade it to 32 gigs. The only game I play I highly recommend is 32 gigs. Gotcha. Well, I'm sure you can get some RAM and put it in here in the laptop. Try this with the undervolt. I would have to go into the BIOS and do advanced. Like I said, I'm gonna do a separate stream for undervolting. It will average higher with an undervolt. It's true. It'll probably go up by like 100 points, I bet, with an undervolt. Okay, so I'm gonna set it to I'm gonna start capturing the numbers again. So 4717. It's our first one. We're gonna do 5 runs. I mean, that's still a noticeable improvement over Intel 10th gen. You know, an Intel 10th gen in a laptop like this might have gotten 4300 before, or 4400 maybe. So, but I think I'm pretty confident that I'm pretty confident that we're gonna see even better performance if you repasted this thing um, with a better, more even thermal paste, and then overclocked it and undervolted it. You could probably get, I'll bet you, plus, you could probably get over 5,000, I bet, consistently. That would be my estimate, but I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't quite push that high, or maybe it would push quite a bit more than that. I don't know. All right, second run, 4763. Because I can tell you these cores that are overheating here probably are holding this thing back a bit. Core power is 68 watts right now. I mean, that's good. It's just not amazingly good, you know? Please try Cinebench R23. Yeah, I'm going to do that as well. I'm not going to do the single core for that, but I'll do the multi-core for Cinebench R23. That's pretty low. I mean, it's low compared to Ryzen 5000 that push over 5,000 in the laptop, similarly priced. But this is an improvement over Intel 10th gen. And honestly, this is a little low compared to what this thing was pulling in the unboxing, which is, I'm very curious as to why. 46.99. $69 watts of power. I mean, it's pulling a good amount of power. It's probably thermal throttling. Is the Asus G17 better than this? Yes. In Cinebench R20, the G17 was getting 5,200, 5,200 or so. But the difference between 4,700, 4,800, and 5,200 is not massive. And as we saw, the gaming performance in this is a noticeable step up from the 5900HX. And part of that is the MUX. I think part of that is the new Intel 11th gen architecture. 4700 exactly. Gut Robin says with an OC 4.4 gigahertz, 75 watts at 5200. Hmm. Would love to see you review the Legion 7 with a 3080 in the future. Yeah, I would love to do that too. I'm honestly, I really liked the Legion 7's build quality and design with the 16 by 10 display and the quality of the display, and the RGB on it was awesome. So, does Ryzen have long life? I think so. As far as I know, it does. Okay, I think this is the last one, but just in case I'll run it again. 4769. 4769. Okay, so we're averaging a little over 4700. All right, we're going to go ahead and run Cinebench R23 now. Multi-core, go. So starting off, we're hitting 4 gigahertz right away, 3.9 gigahertz, and our boost is 75 watts. So we're pushing higher wattage TDP, but that's going to hit it thermal throttling very quickly, and then it's going to drop down, 3.8 gigahertz now. And our TDP will also drop down to the upper 60s, I bet. See, but I think this thing wants to go to a higher wattage. I think it wants to maintain like a 75, but the thermal paste and with the cores hitting 95, that's basically preventing it from going to the maximum power limit that it wants to go to. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. And then we're also getting a little bit of thermal throttling. So this might just be my unit. I think your mileage will vary a little bit from laptop to laptop, um, depending on how well the CPU is pasted and stuff like that. The G15, although powerful, does not have great battery life, so not a 100-100 laptop. I think the G15, both the Strix G15 and Zephyr's G15 have great battery life. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is the MSI GP66 Raider better than the Legion 5 Pro? I think that's just going to come down to configuration and pricing. They should be on a similar platform. I would give 90 to 100 to G15 because bad battery life and no webcam. Undervolting is a bit mandatory in this laptop. I mean, I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but I think if you want to get the maximum possible performance, I think undervolting will definitely improve the performance a bit. Dude, why are you running time? What do you mean? We're running the Cinebench R23. It's good that it's not hard to undervolt. Yeah, I think you just do in the BIOS, right? You have to do a key combo. Where can I sell my kidney to purchase this? Oh my God. You can also change the RAM timings in the BIOS. Interesting. Not very many laptops allow you to change RAM timings. I'm curious about that, and that might actually be worth tinkering around with as well. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink and a snack. Okay, I am back. Crazy stunts. This is how I've always ran my Cinebench R23. If you're looking for a single run, that's Cinebench R20. Chair slip tech. Greater than Gizmo slip tech. LOL. So I'm curious as to why the screen turned off. That might be why we're getting lower performance. I'm gonna let this finish because we're only 3 minutes left, but I want to make sure we're on the right Windows power profile. Because in the high performance power profile, I have it set to never have the screen turn off. So the fact that the screen turned off probably after being 5 minutes AFK probably means we're on the balance profile or something. But I could be wrong. I'll have to double check it. Bought a Scar 17 5900HX and an RTX 3080 32 GB RAM 3 days ago, and it's killing it with 3ds Max Corona and V-Ray rendering task. Greetings from India, mate. Cool. I'm so glad you're enjoying your laptop, man. That's a great laptop. How does the laptop compare to the Strix G17 that had reviewed? This laptop performed really, really well in games. Is there any way through accessories to charge a laptop through the USB 3.2 port? No. Not that I know of. I'm not saying it's faster than the 5980HS, but just said M1 is better battery life, and of course the AMD U series have better battery life than H series. I do think the M1 is a really, really good chip, and I really hope that Apple embraces gamers and designs more equipment for like high-end gaming. Um, I remember back in the day, like 15 years ago, when the MacBook Pro with the Nvidia, like I can't remember what graphics card it was, like a 460M or something like that. It was like the best graphic. It was like 2006. It was like the best graphics card you could get in a laptop, and it was like so thin and light, but it was hot. And I saved up in college and bought one. It was like I saved up for a long time and bought one, and I was like, yes, this is amazing. Um, I installed Windows Boot Camp, Windows through Windows Boot Camp, and gamed on it like it was a PC. It was awesome. Can't do that anymore, you know? Especially not with the M1 chip. Gizmo, do you watch Jared if you feel lazy to benchmark? No, I watched Jared to see what he thinks on how his tests went, and he tests a lot of laptops that I never test, right? So I'm really curious to know, what kind of results he's getting, and do they line up with the results I'm getting? Because sometimes you have outliers, things that perform differently than you're expecting, and you want to know why. So I really enjoy watching other reviewers. I watch him, Owner Disown, Bob of All Trades. I watch a lot of their videos. I watch Dave 2D occasionally, and was it Matthew Morris and what's the other guy? I just did the collab with them. Josh, just Josh, I believe. I watch some of his reviews. I watch a lot of different people. Mobile Tech Review. Was it Lisa from Mobile Tech Review? Uh, yeah. Okay, let's see what we get. 12,174. 12,174. Very nice. Okay. We'll put that in, we'll save that, and then we'll also just check our power profile. 12,174. That's a very good score. Cool. Now, I'm curious what he was talking about. Because if you do this minimum test duration to off, what does that do for? I'm curious how this runs now. Oh, I want to see this. That wasn't set to best performance. That's annoying. And this is set to balance instead of high performance. So I feel like a lot of these benchmarks need to be redone, and I'm not going to use these numbers, I don't think, because I want to make sure that they're accurate. This would be a good example. Maybe maybe I should redo some of these tests, or I'll probably redo all of them actually, um, and be like, okay, how much of a difference does Windows Power Profile make in terms of performance? So does this just do the one run and then stop? And does it? But I don't think it'll give you the full score. I'm curious. Let's see. So it does. But see, the thing is, that's not accurate. You need test throttling. This is the way I test it. I think it's much more accurate doing a 10-minute test. Um, all right. Mulligan. Video ideas all around. Hey, I mean, I just want to make something out of all these tests I did, and I think people will legitimately be curious, like how important is it to set your power profile to be like, like for example, on high performance right here, I click this, I can't even adjust anything. On balanced, I can set it. Okay? Like, why? Why is that a thing? And does that affect your performance? I don't know. I've never like I'm pretty sure it does. If I hit ultimate performance though, and if we retest Cinebench R20, let's at least test that once. Let's see if this is what is causing our slight drop in performance here. So we're hitting 4.2 gigahertz now. We're pulling 87 watts. Now keep in mind we did have a break, so we're getting like the turbo boost period of time. We're getting like the highest possible wattage for a little while, and we're also not thermal throttling initially, so it's boosting as high as it possibly can. But we're hitting 4 gigahertz now. We'll see. Yeah, so for a short test, I use Cinebench R20, and then for Cinebench R23, I do the 10-minute test because it shows CPU thermal throttling and it much more reliably represents the full performance of the laptop. So there's 4964. Let's see if we run this a couple more times if we see a drop. 77. So we're jumping between 3.7 and 3.9 gigahertz, which is better than we were doing before. And now we're pulling 71.8 watts of power. And before we were doing what, 66, 67 watts or something like that? So we're pulling 4 or 5 more watts and like another 1 gigahertz, another 0.1 gigahertz on the all core turbo boost. So I'll bet you we're going to hit around 4800, 4900 now. Albioza says, I'm not sure about NVIDIA control panel consistency, but found 4715. Okay, so that's the same that we had before. What laptop would I recommend for 3080 QHD gaming? Well, you're gonna have to pick an option that actually has a 3080 as a display option choice. But in general, QHD gaming, probably a 3070 laptop with a 17-inch display, so you can take advantage of the QHD to the best of your ability. 70 watts. 71 watts. And again, 3 of these cores are thermal throttling. Often, at least. All right. We'll let this run. This will be the last one for this. 4744. Okay, so not much different. Interesting. So it did not really improve anything on our score. We're gonna have to restart the app. Now, man, for Valorant, what I'm gonna say is I'm reaching the end of my energy. Honestly. Like I've live streamed now for what, a few hours? 4 hours? 3.5 hours? We need to restart the computer for run Valorant. We'll restart the computer and pop into Valorant for just a couple minutes. It's easy to do. I'm gonna do it. I'm a trooper. I'll survive. It'll be okay. The camera doesn't know what to focus on. So I wouldn't go for a 15-inch QHD. No, I wouldn't mind necessarily doing that. It's an improvement. It's just uh, if you in particularly want to focus on the QHD feature, I think a 17-inch is going to best take advantage of the QHD nature. 15 inches is still a noticeable difference. Like I have a QHD display on my Scar 15, and it's an improvement. Okay, so notice the cooler booster turned on when we restarted. But notice we're back in balanced mode. When we restarted, we went from ultimate performance to balanced mode. For some reason, the default on this machine switches to balance, even though I've set ultimate performance several times now. So I think that's something that's important to note for anyone that wants to maximize the performance. It's something you'll have to set every time. Please restart Nvidia panel settings. See, I'm not even, when you say restart Nvidia panel settings, I'm not even sure really what you mean. What do you mean by that? Are you talking about this button right here? Global settings and then restore? I know you're talking about maximize GPU performance in this right here, GPU power management mode, normal, prefer maximum performance. That's what you're talking about. Restore defaults. I mean, I'm not going to go retest anything right now. Like I said, I'm at the end of my energy. But I mean, it should be on prefer maximal performance anyway by default. So these settings should already be correct. I believe it's supposed to be 4x and then 8x. The NVIDIA control panel and power plan do make a lot of difference. They can in certain titles, but typically they don't. Oh, the Windows power plan can, but I'm talking about the what do you want to call it? Prefer maximum performance button. Okay. Well, let's see what we get for FPS in Valorant now. Let's see. My headphone cable is like right in the way of me being able to aim properly. Oi, I missed. Eh, my mouse ran into the laptop. Oi, brutal. We are dying a lot. Oh my gosh. We'll keep looking the wrong direction and getting shot from the side or behind. Probably because I don't have ears to be able to hear, like headphones to be able to hear where people are. There we go. Ooh, good shot. These people are good. Valorant is running better than last time. What did you change? Windows power profile to high performance. But it seems like it's running better at times and then not really running that much better. Like at times it's boosting to 300 and other times it's like only like a little over 200 again, which is what we had last time. I think last time it averaged around 240. Let's see here. I think I do 4x and then 8x, but I don't think that matters that much. Oh my gosh, these people are pros. I'm also really tired, so. Oh my goodness, I need to just get a spray and pray gun. Oh, oh, brutal. Scapo live stream marathon going on here. Yeah, that's right. Well, I gotta say, this is running really well. Hey, I stole that person's kill. We're gonna hold the corner this time. That's the best way to do it with this gun. Just hold the corner, not run around. Maybe we won't just get owned all the time. They come around the corner on me. That's the downside of not having any headphones. Jeez, the Reyna this person is good. Scapo, thanks for the donation. It's a couple bucks. That's Darren. Gotta helps film. I really want to kill the Reyna. I just keep missing my headshots. They keep landing theirs like almost instantly, and then I miss my first shot usually, and they kill me. Oh, okay. So right now we're averaging 286. That's obviously very good. Haha. Oh no. All right. Well, it is a very interesting result. We're getting looks like we're averaging about hey I kill oh that's a different person. Um looks like we're getting about 60 more FPS than we did last time. And it could be related to the Windows power profile. Um I'm not sure. We're getting higher GPU and CPU utilization than last time, you know? Oh my gosh, this person's so good. They're coming around the corner and instantly killing me before I even have a chance to respond. Okay. I is done. Okay, guys. So, like I said, I feel like a lot of these tests are a bit invalid because of the Windows power profile. So I'm gonna do some of them again and see if I notice any differences. Am I experiencing any stutter? No, it's very smooth. Can you show how everything runs on low? I did that last time. It didn't change the FPS very much. Sorry, I didn't see the comment until after. Everything was on high, Leo Chen, for the settings. So uh, is this a rerun? No, I just tested these games again all to be in one video. What's the best one in your opinion between XPS 17, Zephyrus S17, and MSI Creator 17? I am personally not that interested in. I'm not sure. Content content creator, casual gamer. I'm not sure. Be curious. Hey Gizmo, do you think an RTX 3080 can beat two 2080 Ti's and SLI? Depends on the game. Anyway, I plan on retesting some of these. I'm tempted to actually not even let this video stay public, just put it to unlisted or something, but I don't know. So in conclusion, very impressive results from the GP66 in a ton of games. Really high CPU temperatures, Sadly, not enough cooling and potentially not a great CPU pace job. That's kind of the sum up of it, but very good performance all around, though, despite those high temperatures. Um, I think I can still definitely recommend this laptop to the vast majority of people. Just for people that crave CPU performance, you can get better CPU temperatures and potential performance, I think, out of this machine if you undervolt it and you repaste it, and then also some other machines that have the 11800H may do even better, or like the i9-11980HK with more heat pipes dedicated to the CPU could definitely have a big boost in performance. But that's my sum up of this. Definitely a really great gaming laptop that doesn't quite reach its peak potential currently, but it's still very, very good. And I think I can still highly recommend this laptop to people looking for a great gaming laptop. Anyway, that's it for this stream. Guys, I know you guys still have questions. I did answer tons of questions throughout the stream, and I know some of you are just hopping on and want me to answer these questions. But I'm exhausted. I can't answer any more questions for tonight. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will see you guys in the next one. Brandon, out.